Hello, this is David Dietrichs, and this is my week 5 submission for FTH 223, also my last submission for SDI as a whole and for this class. Well, starting out, I'd like to say it's been a wonderful past 2.5 years of doing classes through SDI. So I started with a certificate in gunsmithing and went on to associates, and then decided to do this, the handgun specialist. Well, with that short little bit said, let's move on with it. And, well, we're going to start out as we have done in the other courses, using this as a demonstration piece. So, as always, we're going to make sure it's clear and safe. Safety is paramount. So we lock that back. So we'll start with that. There's no magazine. See right through. Let's feel in here. Yep. And then let's look. No ammunition whatsoever. So this firearm is ready for to be handled and to do a health check. So when I'm looking at this firearm, the areas that I would look at for a health check would be, let's start with barrel. Any obstructions, anything looking out of place. Guide rod for the recoil spring as well as recoil spring. Is there anything? Is it broke? Does it feel like it's hanging up? Is it bent? Just, physical observations as well as feeling as the gun cycles. Next, slide itself. Is it sitting right? Is it locked back like this? Is it stuck? Or what do we got going on there? Alright, then moving on, let's say trigger. Trigger next. Is it engaging the firing pin? Or is it just a dead trigger? Things of that nature, so that's one area. Magazine, well, can we not, drop a magazine? Can a magazine not feed? What's going on in there? Let's see, we'll go ahead and bring this back forward. Hammer. Am I able to gauge my single action? So, I am. There's a reset, which, this trigger's weird. It has a very long reset. I don't know if I really like that. So, check that. The hammer itself, it has a transfer bar. So is the hammer actually engaging, or is it just flopping around? The spring broke, transfer bar broke. So those are key points I'd look for in this firearm. So moving on, as the other classes, 10 things I learned, list them off. One being about the CZ75 / its clone, the B6. I didn't know much about them. I actually didn't know they were double action firearms, or pistols. That's how much I knew about the CZ75. Number 2, learning the inner workings of this firearm. Pretty interesting. It works about as you would think a double action hammer fired pistol would work. Kind of similar to the revolver we worked on earlier. Going through this specialist classes. Number 3 would be, even though it wasn't this firearm, putting the compensator on the striker fired pistol. I had never seen a mass driver, a recoil or a guide rod mounted. I've never seen one. Never seen a compensator mounted on a guide rod. Number 4, learning how to do the drawings, just how simple it was. I mean, you just never really think about that because you never really had to do it. So yeah, that'll be number 4. Number 5, just learning how to detail strip this down, which goes into with the drawings. I've never broken one down, so that was kind of cool to learn. What else? Number 6, just learning about, obviously the modifications you can do, like you can do a reduced power spring set on this. It'll bring the trigger pull down, like how much force is required. Let's see, what else? Number 7, it's kind of goes into detail strip, but learning how like the hammer works on this firearm in particular, and how it hits the firing pin, and how that all in conjunction works with the trigger transfer bar and hammer transfer bar, and so it's always neat to learn a new platform. Great. Number 8 would be just learning from my classmates. I would say just going through discussion boards and their inputs to your discussion, or just reading their posts and reading the knowledge that they have. That's actually one of the most important to me, I would say, is just peers and teacher feedback. So yeah, that's number 8. Number 9, just continuing on, learning about a firearm that I haven't ever held before. And number 10, just the cores and concepts that we've learned, kind of like the history of like the Coiler pistol. Never knew much about that, so just learning concepts and history about these firearms. And so moving forward, so part 3, just like every other class, what's one modification I would like to do to the B6, and what would that cost if I was to do it, and would I charge? So one thing I would like to do to the B6, I don't know if this can be done, it would have to probably be fabricated, is I would love to put a threaded barrel on the B6. From research I've done, I have not found one. So this seems like something that you'd either have to have someone one-off make, or you'd have to source it yourself, like make it yourself. So let's say I go the route of making it myself. So I have to figure out the barrel material I want, which it's going to be probably a stainless steel, because I don't want it to corrode, and I don't have the means to chrome line it or anything like that to protect it, so we'd go with stainless. From there, I'm going to need a lathe, a way to cut the barrel and the crown. So, with all that said and done, it's probably going to cost, let's say I already had the lathe and I just need the material. From what I can see, going rates for gunsmiths, it costs about 100, 160 an hour around here for such work to be done. And I'm going to guess that's going to take more than an hour, obviously. We're probably talking a few hours of man labor, not to mention machine labor to get that done. I would charge a little less if I was to do it for a customer, because I'm not well established at all yet. Plus, I don't have much experience doing it yet, so my rate would definitely reflect that. But yeah, that was the modification I would like to do to this firearm, would be to add a threaded barrel, even if I have to create it myself. Well, I'm going to put that down, and this concludes this video. Like I said, this is my final video for Sonoran Desert Institute. I'm done with the classes beyond this point. I just want to say I will do a review video in the future. Yeah, and I'll kind of give more of an insight into my time going through with this. Thank you, Sonoran Desert Institute, for everything you've taught me and done. And I look forward to applying this in the future. Hope this concludes my week 5 assignment for FTH 223. Thank you for watching.